All right, everybody, welcome back to the Adventure RX podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nick Anderson, physical therapist with Pinpoint Physical Therapy. I have my guest on today, Robin, who is El Presidente of the Keel Haulers Paddling Club. Let her introduce the club and really what it's all about. Great group of people in the Northeast Ohio area, really kind of spread all over at this point. Got people all over the place. But Robin, thanks for coming on. Hopefully we can chat a little bit about some paddling, some rock climbing. I know you're very much into strength training as well.
Thanks for having me, Nick. So just quick spiel about the Keel Haulers. It's the Keel Haulers Canoe Club, but we do a lot of kayaking. Mostly we focus on whitewater kayaking, but we do have a lot of recreational. We have stand-up paddle boards, sea kayaks. We focus on safety, teaching how to be safe in the water. We also focus on conservation and just giving back to the community. So we do a lot of we have our own festival, which is called the Slip Fest, which is the third weekend of April every year, and we organize lots of trips. And we're just basically a social club, just people who love to kayak um, at all different levels, beginners all the way up to class five boaters. So that's my spiel. Come join
Yeah,
the
it's a
come join the
yeah
keel haulers.
the Keel Haulers. It's a really great club. Made a lot of good friends over the last few years. I think I've been a member 4 or 5 years now. Uh, very welcoming to beginners as well. I know everyone lets
Hmm.
others borrow gear and
Hmm.
hey, try the sport out. We got extra boat, spray skirt, paddle, whatever. So yeah, if you're interested in the Cleveland area, if you're listening, reach out to Robin or myself or the Keel Haulers Facebook page. Very welcoming group of people and
Hmm.
uh, very much caters to, like you said, beginners all the way up to we got some really high level paddlers in the group. So it's fun to
We
watch
do.
some of those people get rowdy.
It really
Um,
is.
yeah,
It really is.
yeah. The Slip Fest was fun. That was a few weekends ago.
Hmm.
That's the third year, I believe, for
That
Slip
is
Fest.
I believe that is our third year doing that, and we just keep getting bigger and getting better every year. We keep on growing, and of course, obviously, weather dependent. So, like last year was harder just because it was like a torrential rain and the river got blown out. But we pivoted and we came back and we figured it out.
Yeah, that was crazy last year. The slip was completely blown out. That's the most water that I've
It
seen
was like a
in that.
95-year storm.
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy. But like you said, pivoted to the other creek or the river, and it was still fun. It's a race. So for those that don't know about it, it's a weekend hangout, camping, chilling. Everyone's paddling, but there's also like that sanctioned, timed race event with different classes of boats, different lengths, and
it's
everything.
actually like
So
going to be part of a, I think, I'm not sure if it is now, but it's definitely going to be part of a series. I know Matt Pascal is bringing in a world race that has various rivers, and the slip is going to be on his circuit.
great.
And he's a
Yeah.
local, so it's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. Just after a few years, it's really growing.
Yeah.
How did you get into the paddling and the whitewater, especially?
My friend Anthony is a climber. I'm a climber, and he had been talking to me about it all summer, 2 summers ago. And I was busy most of the summer, but finally, like at the end of July, I made it out to a roll session, and that's all I needed. I just
Nice.
needed it to be under the water, just hanging out upside down in a boat, going, yeah, I think I could keep doing this. And then Brian, the old president, he had found me a boat that was like my size because I was in the lake in a boat that was too big for me. So
Right.
I went out to Pennsylvania just hoping that this boat would fit me and that it'll fit inside of my car, not even on top, but inside of my car. Because I'm like, it's a whitewater boat, it should be fine. And
Yeah.
it all worked out. So just hooked ever since.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely shout out Brian Smart. He's really been the cornerstone of the club for many, many years. Really great guy. We'll let you borrow whatever you ever need if you're a beginner. And yeah, definitely
Oh
shout out
yeah,
Brian for sure.
he definitely is a cornerstone to helping grow the community.
I
So
agree. He was one of my first friends in the club, as he is many of first kayakers in the club.
Yeah.
Really got me into it and started pushing me a little bit. So you mentioned climbing, and what gym do you climb out of mostly?
Right now I'm at Shaker Rocks. I've been
Shaker Rocks,
really,
nice.
yeah, I've been into the top and lead climbing as opposed to bouldering lately. And Shaker is the closest one to home, and it's a great gym, and I love the people there. Just once again, everything that I do is all about community. I find a community of people I really like, and I just kind of stick with them.
Well, that's what life's all about, right?
Yep, exactly, exactly.
Finding your tribe
Yeah,
and doing fun stuff.
yeah. I had started off at Cleveland Rock Gym, but they are no longer in business. So, um, yeah, I went to Nosotros for a while, and now I'm back to Shaker.
Cool. I'll have to come by and do a drop in.
Please do. If your first
I
session
don't.
with me is free.
Yeah, cool. I don't know
Yeah.
how to belay or anything. I would have to do it.
No, no, no.
That's on my bucket list. I want to learn how to do that, but
I could teach you how to belay, but you definitely can't belay like as a first timer. You have to either take
no,
a
no.
class or get taught. It's really
Yeah.
easy. Top rope belay is super easy. I can show you. There's a lot of crossover actually between Swiftwater Rescue and belaying.
Okay.
As because I got Andy. Well, I didn't get her into climbing. She has been joining me climbing, and she took to belaying like it was nothing. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been a couple times. I liked bouldering too. That was fun on the smaller wall.
Oh, yeah.
That
Hmm.
really kicked my butt. Like
It's hard.
my
It's
hands
hard.
were my wrists and hands were destroyed after that.
I
Definitely.
just I choose to top rope because if I'm gonna fall, I don't want to hit the ground. So, and when I boulder, I down climb, like I don't jump. So that takes a lot of extra effort. So I've just
Right.
been trying to. I mean, I'll boulder a little bit, but I prefer top rope or
Yeah.
lead.
Well, it's fun getting up higher too.
I mean,
I think it's scarier. It was scary for me. You're up there
you
pretty
know,
high.
everybody's like, I'm afraid of heights, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so am I. But one of my mottos in life is feel the fear, but do it anyway. So you figure it out. You just don't look down until you get to the top, and then you can take a look around. But like when
Gotcha.
you're
So that
at the New River Gorge and you get to the top and you see the bridge that everybody's jumping off of at the weekend that they have there when everybody jumps off the bridge. I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
you can't beat the view. You just can't.
Yeah, what was your quote? Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yep. Feel the fear, do it anyway.
I
Obviously
like that.
within appropriate level. So like I'm not going to
Within
go to a class 4, class 5 river and go start kayaking tomorrow,
right.
but I'm still scared sometimes on the slip, or if I'm definitely still scared like on Loyo, or if I'm going to do a PFD on the like I'm going to do Stony Canyon soon, and it's scary,
Yeah,
but it's within my level. So I'm going to do it.
right. And I think in this sport, especially with the whitewater kayaking, the danger is there, right?
Uh-huh. Out
And
of out of every sport that probably is it's the most dangerous.
yes, and I think at least for me, I've progressed. I progressed quickly at first, but then I had a couple injuries here and there, and I've tapered it off. And I think what we see a lot in the sport is like the river check mark or the list, right? And I think there's pros and cons to that. Like it's really great to have that list to be able to check them off and be like, yes, I did this river, did this river.
Hmm.
Um, but like you're saying, within like knowing your skill set and knowing what's appropriate, and I think that's what's great about being part of the club too, because you have like-minded people that can help push you, but also friends that might say, hey, maybe we're not quite there yet.
Exactly.
Having the voices that go both ways, I guess you could say.
Right. Exactly. You
you
summed
know,
it up really well.
with your strength training, I know you're pretty experienced. Tell us a little bit about that. And I'm big on strength training. Injury prevention is obviously part of my career. Where do you see? Tell us about your strength training and how you see that crossing over into climbing and kayaking.
So I'm a competitive power lifter. I lift with the Federation USA Powerlifting, and there's a lot of federations out there, but that's the one I currently am lifting with. I'm also a Category 2 international level referee. I've been lifting competitively since 2016. I've won nationals back in 21. And then almost went to Worlds, except for the parent federation and our federation kind of had a divorce 3 weeks before I was supposed to go to Sweden. And I'm now just getting ready for another nationals here coming up at the end of July. That's going to roll right into Week of Rivers. It's like,
Gotcha.
or it's actually
Oh,
the end of June because it rolls
yeah.
right into. It's like it's in Atlanta and North Carolina, so it's like it worked out perfectly.
Well, that is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So squat, bench, and deadlift are the main lifts that I do. I mean, I do accessories and I train everything, but that's what I compete in.
Yeah. And when with people that are getting into strength training or fitness in general, they'll ask me. You see it on all over, question boards. How do I where do I start? How do I start? And I think learning those compound lifts are so useful because one, it's full body generally, right? Like even
Oh
bench
yeah.
press, you can argue bench press. It's upper body bias, but you get some leg drive. There's some core
Oh no,
involvement,
it's
right?
it's a
It,
100% legs
it,
and back. More than
it's
I
full.
think even more than chest and shoulders. It's legs and
Yeah,
back.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But they're intimidating to learn, right?
Hmm.
And everyone,
Hmm.
oh, I'm going to get hurt deadlifting. I'm going to get hurt squatting. I hear it so much. These fitness myths, especially in PT, drives me nuts. Oh, I'm gonna hurt my back deadlifting. Um,
Well, I
I
mean,
would say like get a coach and progressive overload slowly, just like in any skill you're learning, right? Like rock climbing, you're not going to go to the hardest track right off the bat. You're going to do the little baby ones, build it up slow.
yeah.
What are your thoughts?
But
What are your thoughts on all that?
it goes both ways. I mean, have I gotten injured deadlifting? Yes, I have. Have I done things to try to prevent it? Yes, I have. Can I get injured walking down the street? Yeah. Like
Right.
squatting and deadlifting, you can't say I'm not going to do it because I might get injured because you like most people squat down. If you have to go to the grocery store and something's on the bottom shelf, you have to pick up your groceries. You want to pick up your baby. Like there's things that you do in everyday life that relates to lifting, and the stronger that you get, and also as you're getting stronger, you're creating bone density. So when you get older, it's going to help you if you fall. It's going to help you prevent you from falling. So there's like a million different things that I could say to say, go strength train, walk every day, strength train.
Right.
It's really like all you need are those two things in life to be relatively healthy.
Yeah, I think those two are, I call them the non-negotiables as far as, at least as far as aging and being an aging athlete. Um,
I mean, I'm a
when,
master's athlete. Like I don't, I compete in the open when I compete locally, but on the national level, I compete against everybody else who's aged 50 to 59.
right.
So, um, and it's, yeah, like it's the only thing that's going to help keep you stronger as you get older and being able to do
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. After the age of 30, every decade you lose, percentage of lean body mass. And can you prevent that? No, but you certainly can maintain and slow that sucker down because I mean, it's going to happen.
Or if you
Like you
start
can't,
strength training and when you're older, you'll actually gain a little bit of lean body
you'll
mass
gain. Well, for sure. It,
before you
it
lose
doesn't,
it.
it doesn't matter your age. You can certainly gain muscle mass and strength and bone density, tendon strength. Does not matter your age. It's never too late to start strength training. Now,
Yeah.
are you going to be, benching 300 pounds at an older age? Probably not, but there's certainly progressions and yeah, non-negotiables, strength training, walking.
I mean, I mean, when you look at my numbers, like I never thought I would hit some of the numbers I've hit. When I started training, as I said, I started 2016, so I was in my mid 40s. Like I was doing a little bit of weightlifting, but I didn't really know what powerlifting was. Um, like I didn't squat or deadlift when I started. I did a bench only competition was my first thing. Um, and so I just lost my train of thought. Um, you know, you start off like light, 95 pounds. I was scared to squat 95 pounds, especially because you have standards you have to lift them to. You have to hit depth and you have to follow commands. And my squat is relatively light compared to people I compete against, but I'm still squatting over 270 pounds. There's no way I would have ever thought I would have been doing that. Like my deadlift, the first time I deadlifted in competition, I think it was in the mid 200s, 280. I know, I'm pretty sure maybe 280. And I heard somebody that was going to be lifting 330 at this competition, this lady. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so impressive. And now
Yeah.
here I am lifting 360.
Nice. It's massive.
And the gains are slow. Like they could take years, legitimately 4 or 5 years before I get another PR. But the only way I can guarantee I won't PR is to quit. So if it takes another 4 or 5 years to get more PRs,
Yeah.
then it's fine.
Yeah. The
Cool.
strongest people I know don't, they're not lifting for a year and then, they're PRing like crazy. It's a long process. When you're competing, I'm sure it's easy to compare to others. How do you define success during maybe your training cycle that you're in and certainly on competition day? Obviously, you have goals going in that you want to hit, and it doesn't always happen for every athlete. But how would you define success in your training?
And the success in training is just enjoying going into the gym every day. Like I have a coach who I absolutely love. Shout out Mustache Barbell and Fitness. Shout out Carly Skripinski. You are my favorite coach ever. So if you have a coach that you work really well with, like he doesn't look at the athlete, he looks at the person first. And what he programs for me is a collaboration and it's enjoyable. Like there's always there's a lot of things that are the same, but then there's some variety. And it's to me, it's just fun going to the gym every day and doing what I do. And as far as competition, did I have fun? Like, do I have number goals? Sometimes. Do I have winning goals? Sometimes. Sometimes I actually go into something knowing I'm not going to win, but just wanting to hit certain numbers. Sometimes I don't want to hit certain numbers because I'm trying to go for a win, and there is some strategy involved. It's not always it's not always your strength. It's strongest on the day and have who has the best game plan that executed that game plan. But honestly, nothing happens if I win. Nothing happens if I lose. So, um, did I have fun? Did I go in? Did I talk to people? Did I have fun on the platform? Did I do the best of my ability on that day? I've gotten injured during a competition one time. That was not ideal, but I bounced back. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think you
So,
have to enjoy the process too, right?
oh,
Just like with
it's
just
about the
like any
process.
any skill, right?
It's 9 minutes of lifting over the course of 3.5 hours as a competition. You have to enjoy the process in order to do that.
Right. Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if I know anyone that is really into the powerlifting that hates it. I mean, that would make sense.
exactly. Like it's a lot that you're putting in. If you're doing it and you're not half-assing it, then yeah, you have to enjoy the process.
So where are you at in your training cycle now? Is it ramping up pretty good?
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're we're getting into the high numbers. So my coach works on 4 week cycles where I'll have a deload week that then subsequently gets higher or heavier. And then like right after a competition is really high volume. And then as we get closer to competition is you start to decrease the amount of volume. So right now, uh, my squats and my bench is 2 by 2. If that tells you like how heavy it's going to
Yeah.
be getting soon.
Yeah.
And my
You're
deadlift,
you're into it. You're into it right now.
I'm into
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I've got about seven weeks left. So I'm in
Yeah,
the
okay.
thick of it. My
Yeah.
deadlift, he treats a little differently just because I've had 3 deadlift injuries. It's like my
Okay.
toxic lift. I love it.
Sure.
It hates me. It's okay. So we get a little bit less volume on deadlift. So I'm doing 3 by 1s on deadlift. This
Gotcha.
is a deload week and my numbers are still heavy even for deload.
So, yeah, pretty heavy
So
still.
yeah.
Here, I got a question for you. Out of everything that you can work on in fitness, so we have like flexibility, pliability, cardiovascular. We'll go strength. We'll go mobility. Um, maybe lung health, VO2 max. What
Mm.
what would you say across sports? They've done a lot of research on this. What would you say is the most important for reducing? So it's not injury prevention because we can't prevent injuries, especially in sports that we're doing.
Yeah.
But you can certainly reduce injury risk. That's how I like to describe it.
Okay.
We can reduce the chance of getting injured. Out of everything you can train, what do you think is the most important based on?
Oh, is this like a test?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you know
yeah.
the answer?
I know the answer. Yeah, based
Ooh.
on a lot of research they've done across various
So
sports.
what's the best for is cardiovascular health and VO2 max, are those separate in your
We'll
eyes?
consider them the same, like endurance training. Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. That's my answer.
Okay. Do you know that? So it's actually strength is number one over flexibility, over
Okay.
pliability, plyometrics, over anaerobic and aerobic capacity. Um, and that's just for injury, like
So neat.
musculoskeletal injury risk reduction.
I guess that
Um,
makes sense. It was like if you're gonna fall and or if you trip on a sidewalk, you could prevent yourself from falling if you've got the strength and the core.
right,
So I guess
right.
yeah, that makes sense. I yeah.
Yeah, I mean, other than,
Okay.
common sense with climbing and kayaking, wear a helmet, wear PFD, stay within your limits. Out of the things that, for fitness wise, I think that's pretty interesting. I think a
I
lot of
like
people
that.
would say, oh, flexibility or cardiovascular endurance.
No. I wish I had more flexibility, but um I don't think that's a make or break in terms of injury prevention.
It's a good adjunct.
I'm
You
sure.
know, it's a good adjunct. I think it's
Uh,
I think it's overall better to be stronger and maybe not as flexible than weaker and
well,
being
look at a
super.
gymnast though. Like a gymnast is strong and flexible.
So they're combining both. If you can
Yeah.
combine both, that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those high level gymnasts they have a genetic advantage as well generally where they're a little bit more bendy than the rest of us.
Yeah.
And they're pretty young too, they're like under 25 years old for the most part.
What's that Russian's name? Or no, not, I don't think she's Russian. She's from, I don't know. There is one that is not young who has been competing in
Really?
every Olympic.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
who
can't
is
remember
that?
her name. I can't remember like people's names and they just tell me, so I'm not gonna
Yeah.
remember
Well,
names.
even like Simone Biles, what is she? She's in her 30s now, right? And she's
Yeah,
considered, old
old.
for gymnastics,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. For the Keel Haulers, any events coming up? I know there's some New River Gorge stuff coming up. There's
Yes. So there's Cheat
Flip
Festival
Clinic.
is
Yeah.
this weekend.
Okay.
Slip Clinic is first weekend in June. That's actually TRPC, our sister
Okay.
Three
Yep.
Rivers Paddling Club, and they have Turkey Bash, which is in the first weekend in August. So we've got um, Stony Fest is May 16th, 17th that
Hmm.
weekend. And then the Week of Rivers is always the week right before July 4th. And Jackie, holy moly, she was just named like coordinator of all the classes.
Yeah, I saw that in the
That's
newsletter
so
today.
cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
What's Week of Rivers all about? I've never been.
I've never been either. So it's
I know like the
basically
gist of it.
so basically just like any other thing, you go, you camp, except for having it be just one river that you're really kind of going to, like Cheat is for the Cheat and Stony is for the Stony. It's you kind of meet, you find somebody who's paddling something of your level, and then you scatter. So you could be driving 2 to 4 hours to a different river every single
Right.
day, and then coming back at the campground and like meeting up with everybody.
Cool.
So this will
Yeah.
be my first, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it sounds fun. Sounds like a great adventure.
It really does. I mean, all there was one time I remember very specifically. I was riding in a car or in a truck, going to a put-in, and I kind of like had this out of body surreal moment that I'm like, this is my life. I get to travel to these places I never would have dreamt, meet people who are from all walks of life, just so amazing.
Right.
99.9% friendly, just a great community. I'm like, I actually get to do this. Like, I never, if you asked me 2 years ago if I would be in this position, there's no way. There's no way I would have said yes. No. No,
Yeah,
this is kind of amazing.
I think the whitewater community is pretty cool. It's unlike any other sport that I've been around, and I've been in the winters freestyle skiing and snowboarding and some various other action type sports, and it's definitely a cool community.
Oh yeah.
It's super niche too. Like there's not, as far as the population of in the world, there's not that many whitewater
But
kayakers.
you're surrounded by them, so you don't think about
Mhm.
it,
Right, right,
right?
because we're in the community for sure.
Right. So like we just see all these people around us doing the exact same thing we're doing at all these different levels. And the best part is it goes from like little kids to like very old, like
Hmm.
70s, 80s, still
Yeah,
paddling and not just paddling, but like really paddling well and
yeah, oh
showing
yeah,
us, oh, it's just
showing us up for sure.
100%. And
Yeah,
then if you can like get in with one of these people and then they start teaching you and you can help like learn how to read a river, learn how to scout, learn how to do all these different things. Yeah. I accidentally like Charlie Duffy. I was doing my PFD on the Loyo and Andy and Mike were taking me down. And then in the middle of that, Charlie Duffy started taking me down. I had no idea at the time who Charlie Duffy was.
okay,
And like I was just asking him what his story is. And his
uh-huh,
story is amazing about how he's basically created whitewater safety. Um, and he's teaching me how to scout and he's teaching me lines and giving me a lot of confidence and showing me some of the harder lines that other people are doing and what they're doing and then I find out it's Charlie Duffy and who he is. I'm like, I was just in the presence of greatness and I got a
yeah,
free class
so
out
cool.
of it. It was so good.
Yeah, you just never know.
Right.
You just never know. All right, Robin. Well, this was fun. I'm gonna let you go climb,
Thank you. That's why I'm dressed like
and
this.
yeah, have a fun climbing session. I'll catch you soon.
Yeah, please come
Um,
to Shaker. I'd love to take you. And
yeah,
if
yeah,
anybody else wants to come to Shaker, hit me up.
yeah. It's fun. Like I said, I've been once. My still rehabbing the knee. It's getting close. Like the strength is getting. I've been under the barbell a couple times, done some deadlifts. So
Okay.
um, it's it's close. It's close. I'm hoping by summer hits, I'll be able to climb and get in my boat more and get back to some running. So
It's hard to rehab yourself.
it is. I have a few friends that I can reach out to, and but it's tough for sure. But the grind continues. All
It
right,
does.
Robin. Well, I'll catch you on the river soon. All right.
Thank you, Nick. Have a good one.
You're welcome. Yep. Bye bye.